Welcome to Pesach Preview 2012 Part 8. One of the reasons we mentioned why we have 3 matzahs on the Seder plate is that it corresponds to our 3 forefathers, our 3 patriarchs, Abraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov, Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. Well, the commentaries also suggest that that's one of the reasons we have 4 cups of wine, because the 4 cups of wine correspond to the 4 matriarchs, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel and Leah. But if we analyze it a bit further, we'll see an interesting thing, that each cup is specifically connected to that particular matriarch. As the great Shalah, the Kabbalist, the Shalah explains, the first cup is Kiddush. That's the first matriarch, Sarah, because during Kiddush we talk about the holiness and the uniqueness and the chosenness of the Jewish nation. After all, it was Sarah who insisted that it would be her son Yitzchak who would be the one to carry on the Jewish nation. It was Sarah that rejected the influence of Yishmael and persuaded Avram Avinu to send Yishmael away so that the holiness should be invested only in Yitzchak. So the first cup, the Kiddush, talking about the chosenness of the Jewish nation, corresponds to Sarah. The second cup is the cup we say over the Haggadah. In the Haggadah, we talk about the suffering of the Jewish people leading up to the Exodus, and we talk about the original plan to threaten the Jewish nation, which came from Lavan. Lavan, who threatened Jacob. Who was Lavan? Lavan was the brother of Rivka, the second of our matriarchs. So the Haggadah, which begins with the origin of the Jewish nation and the threat of Lavan, corresponds to Rivka, the second matriarch. The third cup of wine we say over benching. We say Birkat Hamazon and we thank God for sustaining us. This is the one that corresponds to Rachel. Rachel was the mother of Yosef, of Joseph, who went down to Egypt, and he was responsible for giving sustenance, for being the messenger of God to provide sustenance to the Jewish people when they came down to Egypt, when there was a famine in the land, and he was the one who made up the plan to provide sustenance to all that came. And finally, the fourth cup is the one that corresponds to Leah, because the fourth cup is the one we say over Hallel, praising God. First one to explicitly praise God was Leah, who when she had her 4th son Yehudah said, Hapa'am oides Hashem, this time I will praise, I will give thanks to God. So the 4th cup is the Hallel, giving thanks to God, corresponding to the matriarch Leah. Just a reminder that on the second night of Pesach we begin counting the Omer. It is a mitzvah to count the Omer every single night from the second night of Pesach all the way to the festival of Shavuot. It should be done at the beginning of the night. If one forgot to count the Omer, one can then count during the day, but without a blessing. However, then one continues on as normal. However, if one forgot the entire 24 hours, one then continues counting the Omer, but without a blessing. Have a wonderful day.